Hello everybody, welcome to another Dakman Productions video, and also welcome to Conahey Rail. The last update that I gave you guys, well before I start that story, this video is sort of going to be like an update, a run, and a review on the same video. So I figured I'd change it up and do all three in one video. But at any rate, the last time that I talked to you guys, I wasn't sure which way I was going as far as getting something more modern. I was stuck between, okay, Union Pacific, BNSF, CSX, maybe Norfolk Southern. There was a lot of choices. And one of the things that I left out when making these choices is politics. I don't care about politics and railroads. I really don't care about the, certain things that are happening that people don't like. I'm more or less I'm buying and looking at something that I want to model, and it's not like that particular railroad, the real politics are going to apply. So I leave politics out of when I'm making a purchase. I just go with what I like, the colors or the name or what I see most of. So I was basically thinking about those road names. I was leaning towards Union Pacific because they do have an oil train that comes through Jersey, and they also have what's called a South Express, which takes a unit reefer train from California into New York. So I was looking at that, but then on Lionel Train days, I walked into a hobby shop, and I seen this CSX locomotive, and I absolutely fell in love with it. The colors are crisp, it just pops, and I really like this thing. And it made a lot of sense to go with CSX since I already have Conrail equipment on the layout. So there's a couple things that I could actually do with this CSX. I could run it as a modern day CSX, which I have intentions on doing. In other words, they pretty much took over half of the Conrail fleet and shared with between NS and CSX. But also, Conrail still exists as Conrail Shared Assets. It really didn't go away per se. It just became another name. So there was still Conrail owned track, and there is still Conrail switching operations, which is actually through Conrail Shared Assets. Conrail Shared Assets did own a couple of their own locomotives, but they got rid of them. I think they got scrapped. And now they lease locomotives. And funny enough, they lease either from CSX or Norfolk Southern. So this CSX could actually also stand in as a lease unit to Conrail Shared Assets during switching in and yard operations. So I'm kind of excited over this. This is the new Lionel Legacy CSX AC6000. I wanted something modern, and this was it. I was looking at the ES44AC, and I really didn't want a Tier 4 emissions locomotive, which sounds kind of funny since it's just a model, but a Tier 4 emissions locomotive only has a 12-cylinder engine in it. So I guess they make most of the power with the electrical part of the unit inside the locomotive. But the AC6000 still uses the 16-cylinder locomotive, or engine. So that's why I went with the AC6000 over the ES44AC, because in real life, the ES44AC is a Tier 4 emissions locomotive with a 12-cylinder engine. I wanted a 16-cylinder version. So there you have it. As funny as that sounds in a model railroad, it sounds like I'm really buying a locomotive for real work. But at any rate, so this is something you would actually see every day. I'm not going to get into the details and stuff too much, because there's other channels that do a better job than I ever could of being correct, what's correct and what's not, and labels and so forth and so on. Alright, so with that being said, we'll take a closer look at this thing. So here's a better closer look of the CSX AC6000, which is a locomotive made by General Electric. And I'll turn all the lights on and stuff for you guys to see. But I'm really impressed with the fine detail in the handrails. It does have operating ditch lights. In the past, I've seen other people review. Lionel always got the door on the wrong side of the locomotive. Well, on this mold, they actually moved the entry door to the correct side of the locomotive. For those who are more critical about details like that. The locomotive itself has a lot of nice, crisp details to it. Even the small little decals and the labels of everything is pretty accurate. And then there's your fuel shutoff switch, shown in Unstoppable. So they even got that on there. So there's your CSX logo. I mean, this is a really nice unit. And then there's the key signature to an AC6000 is the flared radiator. So they got that pretty. They got that pretty accurate. The controls are inside of the flared radiator here. And then there's your program switch, your switch for your engine smoke and stuff like that. Because they put it in the flared part of it, the rear number boards will not light up. So that's the downfall to them putting the switches on the top. There's no lights to the rear number boards. So that was a little disappointment. I was not too happy about that, but I'm still impressed with the locomotive. And look at that chain. I mean, that's pretty accurate chain right there. I mean, that's really cool. The steps, as far as being painted with the safety yellow. Like I said, I'm making this a quick review, nothing fancy, because it's going to be a review, a run, and an update, all same video here. And again, you got the nice. Lionel's been doing a lot of nice chain work here lately. I've gotten quite a bit of their scale O-gauge rolling stock, and it features real chain on them. So they've really been stepping up the details on their trains a lot. Even with the the rear number board is not functional with lights. I still like this. I'm really in love with this thing. I think it's a great model. For those who are wondering, yes, you're going to need 054. Lionel has not been putting non-flanged axles on their trucks. All their axles are flanged. So if you're buying a 12-wheel locomotive, keep that in mind. If it's Legacy and it's made since, anything made since 2012, Just keep in mind that all the wheels will be flanged, so it will not make it anything less than 054 curves. Right now it's sitting on 072, and you can see the little bit of overhang that it has. It's a pretty lengthy locomotive. It is also a very strong puller. I pulled 45 coal cars with this thing, and it didn't even blink an eye. It pulled them like a champ. So it is a great puller that could pull a pretty heavy train by itself without the need of help of another powered unit. So they're still available in hobby shops. This is a BTO, which means built to order. So in my opinion, if you're looking for something modern and you're considering CSX, this is a must-have, because this is something that you would see running up and down on CSX tracks today. Right now, you would see this locomotive. This is something modern. I'm thinking about adding the SD70 Ace CSX, but that might be at a later time as well. Or I may put a dummy, but the problem with the dummy units that I find, and this is my opinion, I don't want nobody to get mad at me, but the dummy units are way too pricey. If I'm going to spend $200 to $300 on a dummy unit, I won't do it. I'd rather save up another $200 and get another power unit. I will not buy a dummy unit for that much money. In my opinion, you're not that far away from buying another powered one, so you might as well just buy the powered one. I understand, the dummy units. Some dummy units, not all of them, but some have lights and smoke in them. I really don't care, because I'm not paying $300 for a non-powered unit. So, what I've done here is, since I'm running a modern locomotive, you'll notice that I also have been collecting more modern freight. So all the freight cars on this locomotive will feature the reflective striping. Both MTH Premier and Lionel scaled O-gauge trains have been coming out with freight cars with the reflective striping already on it. I know you could add your own, but I've been buying the ones that are already done. So on this train features all the correct era rolling stock. So yeah, I'm trying to run the correct era trains with the correct era locomotives. Since this Conahey Rail is a high rail layout, I tried to run as realistic as possible. And you guys usually will send me a comment saying, hey, you did this video, it was kind of cool, but that's not correct. And I'll give you an example. I ran a video, or made a video, of 3 SD80 Max pulling a coal hopper train. So I did a triple header. And there was a viewer who commented, hey, that was a cool video, but just FYI, Conrail would never have done that. And he goes into why. And he mentioned that the SD80 Mac had very heavy axle weights. So they weighed quite a bit over the axle. So Conrail would only limit to 2 powered units in MU at the one time. And if a third one was needed, they would put another locomotive, which was not an SD80 Mac, and a lash up with it in MU mode, and it had to be another AC type locomotive. So when you guys make comments like that, I don't take it the wrong way. I actually learn from it, so I can make videos of more accurate, prototypical operations. And I get to learn something out of it because, you know, I went to research that to see if it was true. And everything that guy said to me was exactly on the dot. The Conahey Rail SD80 Max, which the engineers nicknamed Cadillacs, were issued in 2 locomotive sets to different, you know, junctions and stuff. So they were never issued in 3 locomotive sets, two locomotive sets only. And so I learned a lot through you guys. When you make comments, I don't take it the wrong way. You know, like, hey, don't tell me how to run my trains. No, I'm not like that. If you see something that's, you know, not so correct, you know, let me know about it and why. And the guy was respectful about it. I mean, he wasn't, you know, disrespectful. And he told me the story, and I learned through that. I learned about the real thing at the same time. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and do a run.
Dispatcher, ready to roll. Can I pull? Over. Roger that. Your route is lined and locked. Have a safe run.